everyone. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationships, and I'm your host, Franca. On the show with me tonight, I have some really amazing guests. But before we get to them, we'll be discussing the legal approach to separation and divorce. I think that a lot of people do not know how to navigate this thing, divorce or separation. So we would have people with like great insights to have this conversation. So with me on the show today is Sheyi Lisomi, who is my private lawyer. See the way you said Shay?
No, yeah, I don't have.
And then we have, I think we have Elovia via Zoom. Is Elovia here with us? Elovia, hi.
Hi, Franca. Hi,
Elovia.
Shay.
Yeah, Elovia,
Hello,
how now?
Franca.
Long time no saw.
Long time.
Elovia, we should see your face on the show
How
very
you guys
soon. Oh.
doing?
We're good. We're
Great.
good. So,
Great.
Elovia, we're discussing the legal approach to separation and divorce, and I think this is something that a lot of people need to know more about. It's something that
Yeah.
I think if everybody has an idea of what it entails, what I feel that a lot of women are actually going through a lot in marriages because they don't know what they stand to benefit or lose, even the men. So we're gonna have like a legal practitioner, like a family lawyer, come in to
Mhm.
actually, break it down for us and tell us, how it works. He's also a marriage counselor. So, but before we dive into that conversation, let's quickly go on the break. When we come back, we go straight into the conversation.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
Life is made up of moments, some that lift us, others that break us. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we explore the beauty, the heartbreaks, and the incredible strength that every relationship brings into our lives. Friendship, marriages, partnerships, and everything in between.
Yes, say yes.
All the connections that shapes who we are today. Every week, we dive into the stories that define us. Stories of love, loss, heartbreaks, and healing. Real life stories from real people, just like you and I. Heartlines is where emotions meet understanding, and where we learn that we're never truly alone. Join me Mondays through Fridays at 9:30 p.m. for Heartlines, where we connect with every heart, one story at a time.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges.
With the growing youth population and very little engagement.
That is a ticking time bomb.
We're blessed people with a diverse culture who have a lot to say.
And yes, we are talking.
It is important we drive conversations that informs, inspires, and influences thoughts and actions.
If we say there is beauty in diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture.
We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation.
As we are the hope for the future,
Yesterday's conversation shaped today.
What are you saying to shape your tomorrow?
We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
Etiosa, where we are in. Etiosa's FAC allocation is about 698 million per month. Etiosa's estimated IGR per month is 1.6 billion. 1.6 plus 6, let's just say roughly 2.2 billion. You don't have water, you don't have public schools, primary healthcare is a sham, and you call interlocking tiles an express. Really?
Looking to take your business to the next level through partnerships? Then join us every Thursday at 10 a.m. for Partner Up.
Whether you're an entrepreneur, marketing, sales, or partnership professional, Partner Up is here to give you the tools you need to succeed.
From in-depth interviews with industry experts
to real-world case studies of successful partnership strategies that drive innovation and business growth.
We dive deep into what it takes to form successful partnerships.
Thursdays, 10 a.m.
Don't miss Partner Up.
Imagine the world where the voices of the youth finally get the spotlight they deserve.
Welcome to Raise Breakfast, the groundbreaking show where young minds unite together to tackle issues that truly matter.
We're flipping the script on traditional morning talk shows, and this is your chance to hear the youth speak out.
We're not just skimming headlines, we're diving deep into the heart of topics that impact us all.
From politics to governance, tech innovations, mental health, and trendy social issues.
We don't just discuss, we ignite conversations that inspire change and spark action.
Join us every morning for fresh, young, and vibrant perspectives
that empowers the next generation to make a difference.
Start your day right with Raise Breakfast, because when the youth speak, the world listens. Raise Breakfast, weekdays at 8 a.m. live on Upgrade TV.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Please note that you can share your story with us via our WhatsApp number 081 90384663 or call directly to join this conversation on our direct numbers 07025007749 or 07014242420. And please subscribe on our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV and also follow us on all our social media platforms. This conversation. So we have one of the best family lawyers in the building. He's my paddy. He's my friend. He's my oga at the top. Barrister Joe Egboigbe. I had to drag him here. Literally drag him here. Sajo, how are you?
I'm good. And thank you for having me.
Sajo, you are the one going to educate us today. We don't know anything about separation, about divorce, and you're also a therapist. So you're going to educate us on how to keep our marriages before we go to divorce.
Okay, it will be a great honor to do all of that.
Okay. So, Sajo, in all honesty, I think in the last 4 or 5 years, there's been serious cases of divorces, separation. I don't know if it's the Gen Z thing, because people like Unawe don't they old for this matter. When I see the work that they see you every day, they kiss your wife for social media and everything. So what's the secret to this thing, and what's the reason for the increase in divorce and separation?
Okay, dissolution of marriages.
Okay.
There are several factors that would have informed it.
Okay.
Most recently, one would easily blame it on westernization.
Okay.
What we call civilization in some unfortunate circumstances. Now, let me give you a short run through. Those of us who are in the Gen X, we had the privilege of being parented by what do they call it? Baby boomers.
Mm-hmm.
And then we gave birth to Those who started early gave birth to millennials and then some Gen Z. Now there's been a subtle enculturization.
Okay.
Now, if you lived in the household of a baby boomer or the older Gen X, you would notice that there's a regular balance their mothers will use. For those of us from those states, it's easier to color it in pidgin.
Now we be that.
Yes. My pikin no go suffer with I suffer for marriage.
Okay.
And that was subtle indoctrination. You were preparing an unyielding group of young ladies. Now you must know that virtually every knowledge we get as that we either modernize, improve on, discard of as adults, we got from the home.
True.
Now they created these ideals that my children, my daughters, not my children, will not suffer what I'm suffering in marriage. Our fathers were subsumed in their madness, and they didn't see that building a new generation of women. So our fathers did not prepare us for the women that our mothers created for us to marry.
So you're saying the men are not
Now,
prepared?
when the Gen X got ripe for marriage, they married the women created by their mothers who would not tolerate what their mother tolerated.
Okay.
But their father did not tell them that you have to
Endure.
review and upgrade. In today's world, they'll say, upgrade your software to be able to live with these new women created by their mothers. So conflict started. The earliest would be that you get home and you want to be your father, that alpha male that says yeah and it's up, no negotiation, no discussion. And then you're meeting the women created by your mother that says, no, I'm not going to have this. It will not happen in this house. Why are you coming this late? And then the conflict, the problem started from that point. The younger Gen Z didn't know what to do or how to handle it. So, being a weaker generation, Gen X, I mean, not as strong as the baby boomers, elected the exit route.
So that's why we have
That's why you have so much divorce. And it will hurt you to note that it's not going to get easy, unfortunately. At the completion of this cycle, marriage will no longer have
value,
that sacredness that was attached to it. Now, what the baby boomer mothers created, the Gen X sons are dealing with. The Gen X sons have now created sons who are no longer able to understand why their fathers would go through all of this because of marriage.
So they don't want to get married.
So they are not even interested in it. And even when they do, they are becoming very selfish. They're neither like their father or their grandfathers. So they're not a confused bunch who do not know whether they should. I would call them men because men presuppose that you have attained some level of maturity and you have learned the rope on sacrifices. So the shocker you will get, my dear friend, is that I know this would hurt. 60% of all the marriages you know exist today, in the next 10 years will likely be broken.
Older generation or younger generation?
Today, the marriages that, if you put all the marriages in
even the ones
scale
that are 40
today,
years old?
Yes. No, the older generation are. We go to court and we see 50 years old marriage.
And they're divorced?
On the divorce list.
Wow.
Why are they doing that?
Okay.
They have decided that, you know what, I can't take this anymore.
So the number of years you have spent as couples is really relative. It's not important anymore. It just depends on everybody's tolerance level.
Yes, it's only important to the extent that you have now elected to either live with this anomaly or practically just decide, okay, we have walked away around it.
And it's not working.
Now, we've walked away around it.
So that's why we're still together.
In the older generation, walking away around it means endurance. In the younger generation, walking away around it means open marriage, which is what you have everywhere now. And then I heard that it's moving to another realm of
swinging partners.
Exactly. And then predominantly same-sex relationship.
Yeah, relationship.
So it's open to that extent. And that is because they no longer are willing to endure what marriage was.
So that means from what you're saying is really bad?
It's very bad. It's very bad. If you go to courtrooms today, in Lagos, in Ogun, Edo, anywhere you go around, you see that the list of divorce matters. Let's take Lagos as a case study. If you go to the Ikeja High Court and you run through all the courts in Ikeja High Court, all the courtrooms, you will not see less than 300 divorce matters running concurrently. I'm talking about Ikeja alone. And you know, we have the Lagos division rather. We have the Ekpe, we have the Badagry, we have the Korodu. And Ikeja alone. So, whether we like it or not, we are in for...
So that means a lot of people are now, towing that route, so they understand what it means. Because part of why we're having this conversation is, I just feel a lot of people don't even understand what it takes to get divorced.
What it takes to get divorced, or
Yes.
the understanding of what it takes to keep marriage?
No, they don't understand. So when they have already understood, they've gotten to the point where, you know what, we don't want this marriage anymore. You find out that there are women in marriages that, because they don't know the legal aspect of it, they rather stay and endure.
Okay, I would disagree with you.
Okay.
Women are... I'm happy we have only one woman here. So
There's
I'm
one
safe.
woman. Hello, are you here?
There's another one. Okay.
Hello, are you here? Okay,
How
good.
are you?
So we have two women here.
How are you comfortable with two women?
No, I was waiting.
Oh, you were waiting?
I was like, I can't
but I'll say to you for free that women can only endure that which they think will be rosy at the end of the day. Yeah. In their default states.
Okay.
Now we must give the opening that there are some exceptional women who would want to run that route with you. But if you say a woman is enduring, I hear some narratives that, oh, she's been battered, she's been brutalized, but she's enduring. You're not hearing the full story.
Okay.
So the truth be told, maybe they are becoming more aware, maybe they are becoming more selfish, maybe they are beginning to see that marriage is a contract.
So, Sajo, I just hold your thoughts, because when you say marriage is a contract, so the men have always known that marriage is a contract.
Marriage has always been a contract.
But the men,
for men and for women. And
you just said something.
And do you know that you have more divorcing women than divorcing men? Now on the scale
of 1 to 10.
No, on the scale we have not more than 2 reasons why a man would divorce a woman. If you look through all the petitions filed, it borders one on infidelity, and there may be disloyalty.
So define disloyalty.
It's a relative term, so it is what loyalty is to Mr. A that is not getting that amounts to disloyalty.
Okay, just give us an example. Let's understand what disloyalty means.
Like a man would never divorce because of finance.
Yes. So, but for women, you have more than 100 reasons why they will divorce you.
What are the reasons? Infidelity.
most women will not divorce you for infidelity.
What would they divorce
Most
for?
will not. They'll divorce you because you're broke.
Okay.
See, now I'm not speaking in general terms. I'm speaking in general terms, not specifics. There
Okay.
are exceptionals.
Okay.
There are very few women, I don't know if there are more than 5% of them, who would hang on to you through those difficult times. So it is contractual to the extent that it is beneficial.
Okay, so you're saying that most of the divorce you handle is because some reason is because the men are broke.
Most of the reason is because the men are broke,
That's
and
one.
a woman will endure everything with a man who brings sufficient means to the home and to the table. Unfortunately, so.
Okay.
So it is always going to be either you're broke or you're not a giving man. So you could actually have so much and not give.
So you don't have divorce cases where the woman feels she's not being treated properly. You don't have divorce cases where there's a lot of cheating.
I was speaking on general terms. I'm not saying that there are no exceptional cases. I've had matters where the woman says, you know what, I'm done. I'm walking out of this and I don't want anything from him.
Okay.
Even when we read out her rights to her that you're entitled to this and that, she said, no, I don't want. I'm battered.
Good.
I need to reinvent myself. I need to start afresh. So there are these women. But I'm talking...
Majority.
Yes, the larger percentage.
Okay.
It's always going to be that, I've been running this home for too long. I've been fending for this family for too long. The burden is too much on me. The financial burden, the weight. And then he's lazing around, sitting out there. He's not being supportive. Whereas, on the other hand, what you hear from the man is, she's not faithful. So, I'm not sure I've ever had I've done a large number of divorce matters. I'm not sure I can recall in the last 10 years of having a divorce that the man, the core of the man's reason for dissolve, the reason the man feels that the marriage has broken down irretrievably is because the woman is not financially stable enough to make her contribution to the home. No.
But some men are just tired because they say the women are not submissive and they are not respectful. Is that what you mean by disloyalty?
Well, that could be their definition of disloyalty.
Okay.
Now, what I say to young intending couples is you have to go into marriage tabula rasa, plain slate. Don't think you know anything. Don't come in with borrowed knowledge. Don't come in with what you think marriage is.
Or what your parents passed on to you.
Or what life or your parents have passed on to you. Just come in there and learn how to
cope.
No, learn what works for you. Come in and then learn the new ways. Okay, this is
what's working for us right now.
This is what we can. Use the first 5 years to
get to know each other.
But the truth is that if marriage is survive 5 years, you are likely going to survive a longer time.
But you just said 50 years.
I was actually going to ask that question.
Exceptions. Exceptions. There are.
Okay. Where do you get to in marriage where you feel like you can now coast? Like, okay, you guys have relatively, you never say it all, but relatively you've seen each other's, you know how to, we can coast from here. We can
post 5 years, if you ask me. Post 5 years. Because after 5 years, you have seen, you would have seen the extremes of each other.
Okay.
Post 5 years. Yes, if you live together. I'm not talking about this
long distance.
Long distance marriage.
Look, you have something. You were raising up your hand. You wanted to say something.
Yeah, it was when Barrister was talking about the example of cases where women would be willing to divorce a husband because they felt that there was a lack of provision, finances, like they are not, some women aren't willing to tolerate that. While I know this to be true, how about cases where the lack of provision, the lack of funds rather, is not the issue, but a lack of the kindness on the man's part, being willing to treat the wife as though she is worthy of such kind gestures, because there are cases, so many cases where once people get married, see finish comes in, right? And the man could be explaining that, oh, we have more serious things to deal with now, not thinking that the woman perhaps would still like to be treated like baby girls sometimes, right? She's playing her role, he's playing his role, and vice versa. The man at some point would also want to feel like maybe the wife still sees him as she did just before they got married, once in a while, even if it's not priority. So in cases where there's such a feeling, like it's not just because he doesn't have the money, everybody would experience such seasons once in a while, but where the woman is willing to tolerate and the guy probably takes it for granted, okay, she doesn't ask for much. And even if it's there, we can keep that money for better things, and the woman grows tired of it. Would you think that is not good enough reason for her to tire out?
What's her name?
Eluvia.
Eluvia, I'm not sure I quite got your thought line. I will try to respond with what I understood you were saying.
Want me to come again? Water?
Yes, if you could, that would help.
Okay, so you did mention an example where some women divorce because the guy is broke. So I'm saying that there are cases where the guy isn't necessarily broke. He just doesn't feel the need to spend the money on his wife. And in some cases, maybe not necessarily the family, right? But the money is available, but he chooses what he would rather spend on. Would a woman who has been through that for, say, 5 years, 10 years, noticing that this is a pattern now, would you think there are people who would classify some of this as a certain kind of abuse, or neglect? Would you think that's enough for a woman to be tired of dealing with that kind of marriage?
Okay, now a man who has money but is unwilling to spend his money on his family, his wife and maybe the kids, right?
Yeah.
Now you're asking if that would amount to abuse. My question would be, why is the woman not having her money? And what rule says that the man should spend his money on the woman? Now, if we apply those rules and we bring forth what is now the predominant reasoning of our time, the question of equality, why shouldn't the man be the one asking that money be spent on him? You've just agreed with me wholly, I would say, that money is always going to be a factor. So now on the one hand, the man has and he's not spending. On the other hand, the man is broke. What we have concluded is that money is not coming in, whether from a broke man or from a man who has and is not spending. So I completely agree with you that, yeah, women could hang on that and say that that's the reason the marriage has broken down irretrievably. But however, if we are speaking law, simpliciter, for dissolution of marriage to succeed, you must be able to satisfactorily prove to a judge that you come or you fall under one of the requirements provided in section 15 to A to H of the Matrimonial Causes Act. And providing money for you as a woman does not fall under that category.
So it won't be granted.
It could be cruelty, it could be some other thing. I mean, you could color it. But if we actually look at the underpinning reasons, the undisclosed reasons why this dissolution of marriages happen and why it's becoming very frequent, is that a lot of persons are feeling, on the one hand, entitled, and when they are now privileged, which is also societal, they feel that, why will I be spending my hard-earned money on this man? And I query that a lot. If you feel a man should spend on you when he has, why would you not spend on him when you have? Now I've had to test some of these provisions in courts, even at the Court of Appeal. The law is not that the man would provide for the woman. You know, I've had to file a divorce matter where I asked the man that he should claim from his wife maintenance. That the wife should provide maintenance for him monthly, and then the judge was acting funny because, of course,
the culture.
It's the culture, and then she's a woman. She's wondering. She called me. She said, "I know what you're doing is this is you have you've appeared before me several times. But what is the essence of this?" I said, "My Lord, that is what the law says. The one who has more should give to the other, so that they can maintain a particular standard that they had while they were still in marriage. So why would she not provide?" And she has just claimed by her own papers that she's been the one feeding the man. So keep feeding him.
Please, let's quickly go on the break. I have a lot of questions I need to ask, but let's quickly go on the break. When we come back, we'll dive into this conversation where we.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back. Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Okay, so I personally have a lot of questions I want to understand this law properly, because I when I want to speak about these things, I want to speak from a completely place of knowledge.
And you do not want to pay for this knowledge.
That's why I be your friend.
Okay.
So, Sergio, I totally agree with you that who has should be the one to pay. But what are the reasons? Like, so can you just get up and say you want a divorce? Is there a separation? So what is the process? Do you have to separate, stay away for 2 years before you apply? What's the process to divorce, first things first?
Now, you must understand it from the matrimonial causes. First of all, I want to say that our laws with respect to dissolution of marriages is not in tune with our realities. Okay. It's old, it's archaic, and it does not reflect who we are today.
Okay.
Now, for you to dissolve a marriage, you must satisfy, I said earlier, satisfy any of the conditions in section 15.2 of the Matrimonial Causes Act.
What are the conditions?
And the conditions are numerous.
Okay.
I think it starts from either you have lived apart for 1 year preceding the filing of the petition, he has behaved in a particular way that you find intolerable to live with. That is the wider scope where everybody can run and hide under. Or you have lived apart for a continuous period of 2 years,
okay, and
the respondents does not oppose to the dissolution of the marriage. Okay. There are several conditions, and then satisfying those conditions are further provided for in section 16. You know, I had argued in a court that these conditions should be inexhaustive. You know, and the judge said to me that, no, you must satisfy this condition, because in one of the matters I handled, the party was unwilling to lead evidence on what transpired between him and then the wife. particularly with respect to infidelity. He said his pride will not allow him come before the court to say that. Now, that is what most women will not do, right? The guy said the pride will not allow him to say that before the court, not just for himself, but for the image of his children, long run. And the judge, very respected judge that I have so much respect for, said to me that, no, Mr. Abibu, this witness of yours must go into that witness box and testify and say exactly what he knows. Because if he does not say that, I will not be able to grant this divorce. You must prove it through cogent and verifiable facts that this happened. And you must convince the court that indeed it happened.
Okay.
Unlike in some jurisdiction where you could sit down and have a gentleman understanding, sign papers. I know I have seen in some pages in social media, so I just signed off my divorce, and I was like, these guys are watching too much of American films.
So,
you can't do that here.
So that means they're lying.
It is not true.
But I was sorry to interrupt. I've been involved in divorce proceeding with a very good friend of mine. I don't know how that works, but it was a case of they were told to go and have a civil resolution.
So I think that happens if they have been apart for a number of years and they both want the divorce.
You cannot agree to divorce. You must still go to court. Let me tell you how that works. Now, I don't know who this your friend is, but let me tell you what they probably did. There's the dissolution of marriage and there are ancillary reliefs. It could be custody, it could be access, it could be family property sharing, all those other reliefs. It could be maintenance, it could be alimony, name it. Now, every other part of the ancillary reliefs, right, you could discuss during what we call the compulsory conference. Okay. Now, when you file a divorce matter, you file a petition. The other party files what we call answer to petition. And they could file a cross petition, and then you file an answer to cross petition and a reply to the answer. Once pleadings are closed, right, you now sit down and have what we call compulsory conference. At that compulsory conference, the whole purpose is to see how you can reduce the burden on the court and agree on some things. You could agree on, oh, okay, I'm more conversant with the needs of these children. I'll give custody to you. I have access to the children every weekend. You can agree on that. Okay, the school fees, I'll take care of school fees. Oh, medicals, I'll take care of that. You reduce all of that into what we call reports of compulsory conference. Now, you will now move the courts to enter those agreements as judgment of the courts. However, even after all of those wonderful agreements, you still will go into that witness box and tell the court why you want to divorce. And you not just say it to the court, you must satisfy the court.
With evidence.
With cogent and verifiable evidence. Okay. That the reason you want divorce can be accommodated in section 15.2. In one, just one, if you can get one out of those provisions, then the court. Without that, divorce will not be granted. Even if you and your husband or wife says, we'll not do it again, we won't go. The court will say, because for some weird reasons, I think because of the age of the law, marriage was sacred, and they felt that it had this societal importance, and that the state had a duty, I'm talking about the judiciary now, had a duty to protect the sanctity of that institution, even when the participants are becoming funny. Now that for me, it's I think the only contract there is where you can agree to terms and conditions of the contracts between yourselves, but you need a third party to determine the contracts.
So, from your explanation right now, divorce is looking interesting to me. Do you understand?
You want one?
No, because it's looking really interesting that, okay, so you must sit down, there's alimony, there's this. So, you hear people saying, oh, they don't want to go into divorce because the court or the law doesn't favor women.
Who said so?
So that's why I'm saying there are a lot of information being circulated around.
Misinformation.
So, yeah, misinformation, which is why we want to have these conversations. Because you hear them say, oh, they went to court, the man is not paying, this is not happening, a lot of things. Because if you have a proper divorce and these things are agreed on, trust me, everybody can be happy. Do you understand? Because if you have a proper divorce and you agree on certain things, life will be easy for both of you if you guys are not compatible together. Sajo, I'm asking. Because
I don't know if life will be easy, because you see, I do post dissolution counseling.
Okay.
And I would always say to them that there's no greener grass anywhere. If you know this person, deal with this.
Which is my slogan too.
Deal with it. It could be the best you have in your lifetime.
Okay.
There are no guarantees out there. As a matter of fact, it could be you.
Who has the problem?
Yeah, who is the problem? So why not deal with one who can manage the problem that you are, than go and start exploring and hoping that someone would want to tolerate your ineptitude and bad character.
I was waiting for you to say that. But Sergio, have people ever come to you for divorce cases? Hello, you're laughing. It's because he's on TV, he's even speaking better. Benin man, no. Nari Benin man, when they tell people we get bad character, where? Sergio, but have people ever come to you for things like this and you tell them, oh, like for the men or the women, that you're actually the problem here? Do you go to that extent to say, oh, what's the problem? Or you don't get involved, they just come to you for the divorce and that's what you deal with?
No. As a matter of fact, the law requires that before you file a divorce, because if you see the divorce petitions, you see that you must have a tried settlement.
Okay.
Now, I run event room.
Okay.
Because through the years of practicing under this umbrella, matrimonial courses, I've discovered that one of the reasons people come to court is because they're not communicating.
Okay.
In every marriage, there's the one who talks and the one who doesn't.
True.
And now the marriage will not break up because of the one who talks.
It breaks up because
of the one who is not talking. So I created a event room. So when you walk up to me and you want a divorce, I'll sit you down. Let's have this conversation. I'll tell you something. Without going specifics, a young guy walked up to me like 15 years ago and said he wanted a divorce. I said, why do you want to divorce? Oh, my wife, blah, 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 blah. He said everything, but there was no infidelity, so I knew that this guy was not ready for divorce. I said, can I have a word with your wife? They came. Is this okay, this is 9, so it's adult.
Yes, adult, yes.
Good. So, so they came to, he came with his wife. They sat down. I said to him, can you repeat all those things you said about your wife so that she will hear? He went ballistic. Talk. And the wife did not respond. Because when he was talking, when he came to my office, I asked him, and I have this philosophy. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. If your bedroom is warm, you won't have a divorce. You know that old thing that the root to a man's heart is through his stomach? It's not true.
It's through the beddings.
It's in the beddings.
The naxing.
I don't know, but truthfully, if your bedroom is warm, you will never have a divorce. That's the truth. Now, I'm not saying you could run a research on it.
So what's your definition of warm?
Warm is warm. It's not cold.
So what do you mean by warm? Make I put heater.
Now, warm for me in marriage means you can come back to that bedroom and be able to interact. Whether it's sexual interaction or any other form of interaction, you must be able to interact. If you are not able to engage each other in your bedroom every day or at least once every other day, you are already moving towards divorce.
But you don't have to have conversations in your bedroom. You can have conversations in your sitting room.
It doesn't work. There's bedroom conversation.
There's an intimacy that is.
Okay.
There's a bedroom conversation.
Please let him explain to us. Olivia, you want to say something?
No, I was just saying that intimacy, there's something a little more intimate about the bedroom.
She knows, and you know.
I don't know. Let me the ask. I'm learning.
Now, the point I was making is that once the bedroom is warm, so I asked him, I was like, how warm is your bedroom? He said, no, don't go there, blah, blah, blah. She's always complaining, she's tired. Okay. Have you tried helping her with the house chores and the madness in the house? I tried. When I try sometimes, and she comes in and she's still complaining. Okay. Have you tried some surprises? He said, no, once you creep into the wife reacts, oh, then God has, okay. When the wife came, he continued with all those analysis. And I told them I want to have a breakout session. I want to talk with the wife alone. And I asked the wife, what exactly is the problem? How's your sex life? You don't like sex? You don't enjoy it? Or he's not giving you the right way? Have you had discussions on it? She said, there's nothing wrong with their marriage. I went on and on and on and until finally she was broken. And she exploded. And she said, yes, it's true, it's her fault. Everything's about her. I said, no. We're not doing the blame game here. There's something I think is wrong from your past, which you have not been able to engage with or discuss with your husband. It could be, then when she went on and on, and if the husband was patient enough, now the husband, the mind of a man, when he's stressed, he wants sex. When he's happy, he wants sex. When he's frustrated, he wants sex. And women are conditioned for sex. It's not a hunting game for them. You must prepare her through the day if you want to have her in the night.
We don't talk her before.
Yes.
So the guy was always hoping that once I throw in that flower, the next thing is that I'll get the plug-in. And then whenever he's rejected,
it's hurt.
Yeah, so she went on and on. I was like, okay, you know what? This story you have to say in front of your husband again. Call your husband back. They sat down. I was like, your wife loves you, but she's troubled. And she does not think you have the capacity to understand, appreciate what she's about saying to you. So what you do, you zip your mouth. Don't say a word. Just let her talk. And she went on her childhood trauma that the husband, yes, sometimes helps at home and wants her to retire early in bed. So maybe around 2 or 3 o'clock when he feels that he has slept, Baba not sleep. She has slept enough. He wants to touch and then she's reacting. She's triggered. Yeah, that's the word. But the reason she's triggered, the man never asked. So once the man feels he has done this much, I don't try now.
Give it to me.
And then she triggers like, what did you do yourself?
I'm afraid.
So, whereas why she was triggering in that manner was that when she was younger,
she was molested.
Her uncle, who was living with them, always creep into her room at night and
was always molesting
and
her.
was always molesting her. So when she grew up to a particular age, she was able to fend those things and fight. So she's now conditioned to fight. Now it even went worse because when she went to the university, I think her first year, she summoned the courage to tell her dad that this is what this guy has been doing to me. And then
they won't believe her.
No, the father believed. She told the mom while she was in secondary school because the uncle was maternal. The mom was like, "No, you can't say that about my brother." Blah blah blah. So she withdrew again. But again, she told the dad that when let heavens fall, told that this is what this guy has been doing to me, and the man erupted. Led to the breakup of the marriage of the parents and the death of the father.
Oh wow!
So she feels some sense of guilt that if I'd kept this to myself and I was not talking,
My dad will still be alive.
Dad will probably still be alive today. So that really damaged her to a point where the man needed to understand that pain. And they both started crying in my office.
Yeah. Even me, I want to cry now.
And when they were crying, I was like, okay.
You not cry?
I'm an Edo man.
You don't see.
You wish.
I've seen it.
You be wish.
All.
We don't shop her.
So after the crying and everything, I was like, do you still want to get divorced?
Oh, yeah.
And the man said, no. Oh, I'm very grateful, sir. But I said, look, sometimes it's just to talk. And talk, listen, not to respond. Listen because you want to learn and help if you can.
Take out ego and pride.
Yeah, listen to her. Maybe you may be the and if that marriage has broken up, she'll probably end up in another marriage that will still fail, and another and another.
Yeah. So really.
So it was just some part of her that was damaged that needed to be attended to.
Are they still together?
Yes, and wasn't stronger.
Oh, that's nice. So you've had good case. So you have you've had a number of cases where they come to you for divorce, and you've been able to.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. Good. So it's not every marriage. It's not every marriage that gets to the lawyer that ends up in court.
As a matter of fact, it's only marriages that are irreconcilable
so
that should end up in court.
What's your definition? That's what we want to know. What's that definition of irreconcilable?
He wants to.
And I also.
You want to ask a question? Okay. Answer my own first.
No, let's hear him. Yeah.
Don't forget.
Okay.
Let's hear him.
So the thing is, I also want a situation like, should there be an intermediary, in the sense that, should there be, or is there a provision in the law for before we get to court? I think you are able to attend to people's needs because you are also a counselor. So you're able to sit people down and find a way to bring them together.
Yeah, because not all lawyers will do that.
Yes, because I feel like if there should be an aspect where let's get to this level.
Let's understand what's going on, and let's be sure
talk.
that you're sure you know what you want.
Yes, before we get.
Because small children they marry now.
Everything where I don't
Boys
hear.
and girls.
Boys and girls.
In terms of divorce, all my experiences I've had right now, I've never had a case
where
there was a sit down.
Thank you. This is why he's the best lawyer in Lagos.
Please, that's
always
not accepted in the profession.
It's like 1-0 straight to court, to divorce court. Like I feel like there should be a provision in the law where, we compulsorily get past
it actually is supposed to be part of it. That's why he does it.
No, the thing is that it is not because I counsel or I'm a therapist. The law requires you to do that. As a matter of fact, in your petition for divorce, the lawyer deposed to an affidavit where he says, I have attempted reconciliation and reconciliation failed.
Yeah.
However, in practice,
in
practice, most lawyers will not engage that. And you know why they will not? Nigerians...
Break the table, sir.
He's gonna break the table. Break the table, sir.
Nigerians are likely going to pay a lawyer who solves problem, and a lawyer who prevents problem from happening. Now, unfortunately, the mindset of most Nigerians is that, when I get problem, I'll go meet lawyer. But the main reason you need a lawyer is so that that problem will not even occur. So if you walk into a lawyer's office and says, I want a divorce, and he sits you down, he's a wonderful Salvation Army guy, Mr. Charity, and he says, oh no, let's talk. And he finished talking.
We have 1 minute to go. Sajo, we have to come back to this conversation because we're not able to...
And he's not talking, and he gives you a bill, you will not pay him.
Exactly.
And so you walk away.
We have 1 minute more to round up. Sajo, please, irreconcilable differences, what does that mean?
There is no definition of irreconcilable differences, in my view.
Okay.
What is irreconcilable to you, I could reconcile.
Okay.
You understand? So it's also a relative term.
Okay.
It has to do with what you cannot handle.
Okay.
For instance, some people will say, oh, if my wife cheats on me, that is it. Some people even encourage their wife to cheat on them now because it gives them some sense of mental balance.
On this note, we have to close the show. On this note, we have to close the show. Please, we don't have enough time. I think we would have to do this again. Sergio, I don't know if you're able to come back, but please, we need to do this story. We need to do this, please, because there are a lot of questions we need to ask, and there are a lot of things that are not still clear. So we should do this sometime this week. I'll discuss with you behind the scene for us to have this conversation again.
All right.
Okay. So I love you. You're with us, right? I'm sure you have a lot of things to say, but we have just 1 minute and we need to round up. Please, okay. Like I said, we're rounding up and we'll make sure we have this show again during the week. I promise you that, so you can tune in to actually watch it. But please, before we go, know that you can send a message to us on 081-8038-4663. And please follow us on all our social media platforms at Official Upgrade TV on YouTube. Thank you.